Rodriguez swings, hits it in the air to deep center field. Merrill's going back. He's on the track at the wall, leaps up. Oh my goodness, he made the catch. Jackson Merrill just went J-Rod on J-Rod and took a home run away. Oh my goodness. As good of a catch as Jackson Merrill has made in his major league career. What a play. Ferrer ready. Here's the pitch. Jackson swings, hits it hard, and fair up the left field line. Camposano will score. Laureano rounding third. Arozarena lost the handle. The Padres are going to win. A 5-run bottom of the ninth inning to come all the way back. It's 7-6, and it's over.
Absolutely bonkers last night. I know some people were quite disappointed because they left early. I saw it. Wasn't as many people here when that all went down, but what a comeback victory for the Pods. 5 runs in the ninth off a very good closer. Man, you had to be here. I feel bad for you guys that left a little early because that was a crazy finish for the Pods.
Congratulations on a great win, obviously, for everyone. For me, Tony, it was bedlam at the Poway Sports Complex last night. I had my Wednesday softball game there, and when I left to go play, it was, I believe, 6-0. And so I really wasn't even planning on keeping tabs on the game. I did have my DVR going just in case something happened. And there was really hardly a peep for the first, half of my softball game. And then all of a sudden, the murmur started around the softball complex. It's 6-3, it's 6-4, it's 6-5. And when Jackson Merrill got that hit, I guess enough people have the game on their phones, watching in the dugouts. But it was a celebration. The fans were just fired up and excited, and that's just guys that were taking a break from their softball game. The only time I ever remember any kind of response while I've been playing softball was when Cronenworth got the hit to beat the Dodgers, I think, and that was a pretty big deal. So, this kind of win is exciting, and it, my goodness, it comes on the heels with the 7-game win streak. This is great, and I think it's going to go a long way, huh?
You were playing softball when they eliminated the Dodgers.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
No, I was at that game, but there was a Cronenworth home run, I think, up in L.A. in Game 2.
Okay.
Of that series. No,
I was like, there. Man, what are you doing playing softball during the elimination game?
I was there when, the rainy night and the whole thing. Yes. No, I was there for that. But the Game 2, there was quite a bit of yelling and screaming. And if I recall, the Padres won that game in L.A. And I think Cronenworth had a big home run. Anyway, I had never seen any kind of reaction from the guys playing softball to a Padre result. And, when you think about it, it's the second week of April. But you know what? This is the kind of excitement that can carry a whole season going. And it was really something, Tony. And, when I got home, I knew they won. I didn't have all the details. And as I was watching the ninth inning unfold on my DVR, I thought maybe they were wrong. Because, it really didn't look like they were going to ever pull it out. I mean, they were down 6-2 with two outs. Fernando hit the sac fly. They needed, 3 straight hits after that, and they got them. So, man, awesome.
Great victory for the Pods last night. They'll look for the series sweep here tonight, 5:40 matchup. Walker Buehler on the mound for the Padres, Luis Castillo on the mound for the Mariners. They will head up to Anaheim after the game tonight and begin a 10-day roadie. I think it's 8 games in 10 days during that stretch. They get 2 off days, one after the series in Anaheim or after the series in Colorado, one in Mexico City where the Padres will play 2 games. Who are they playing? The Giants?
Diamondbacks.
Arizona.
I knew it was one of those Western teams.
Well, look, I mean, you've got 8 games coming up in this country and 2 south of the border. I think you got to win tonight. I know it's
6 games on this side.
Right, 6 here, 2 there. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, 8 total. I think you go win tonight, right? You went 7-0 on your first homestand last year, so let's go 7-0. on the homestand this year. You got to get the Mariners while they're down. They can't possibly be feeling great after what you did. The one thing I will say.
Oh no, here we go.
Oh, I'm criticizing the Mariners. Okay, so calm down.
All right.
Calm down.
I'm in on that.
I never like to bring my closer in a non-save situation like that. I know he should just go out and get the 3 outs, and with a 4-run lead, there's something for closers, Tony. When they're up by 4, they know that they got to pitch the scoreless inning, but they're not going to get anything for it. It didn't do it. I mean, the Padres had to do everything that they did, but I'm just saying.
Padres just did it in Pittsburgh. Mason Miller came in.
Well, that was 8-1, wasn't it? It was different. Oh, was it by 4? Well, Mason Miller's on another planet, Tony. He doesn't count.
Oh, my fault.
He doesn't count.
Tony says my fault.
Yeah, your fault. You should have thought of that, Tony. You should have thought of that.
The only thing I could think of the whole time was like, where are all those people that hate AJ Preller for trading Munoz? I mean, those guys are everywhere. And
well, let's be fair. That trade still is probably the one that he didn't win on.
You're right, but it doesn't matter because they got Mason Miller now.
Well, now, but at the time, it kind of was.
The Mariners almost made the World Series with Munoz last year, so I think
right.
that
As a matter of fact, you could argue that
while.
They didn't get to the World Series because they didn't use Munoz when they should have used him actually last year.
Last year is last year.
I'm just saying, man. Let's not try to jump on the bandwagon.
Let's not rewrite history here. I do want to point out a couple of things beyond Jackson Merrill last night, because that's a night to remember for him. Of course, I mean the catch and the hit and everything. There was other people though that really contributed to this, and I thought Marinaccio getting out of the 6th inning with 2 on, he got a double play. Peralta 2 on in the 7th inning, got out of that. Jacob had 2 on, I think, in the 8th and 1 in scoring position in the 9th. Any one of those situations, the Mariners break it even further open, and, it's probably a lost cause. The other thing is Luis Campusano. Tony, we're both rooting for him, and I don't know if everyone out there is rooting for him as much as we are, because I've seen the hatred toward Luis Campusano the last couple of years. And the Padres have now won 2 incredibly fun walk-off games on this homestand. And in both of those, they were down to the last out, and Luis Campusano kept them alive with a hit. That's the kind of stuff I remember, and I'm just so happy that he's contributing like that right now. And
I'm with you, man. I don't know that if I pulled harder for an individual on a pro team. I really have, and I highlight this. Just take you behind the curtain. Yesterday, he didn't start that game. Remember, he only got in because he had to lead the game due to I'm assuming a concussion. We do have another catcher up here. I saw walk into the building today. So that concussion protocol is pretty black and white, right? You got to, once it happens, you got to pass protocol in order to even get out. I believe it's 7 days for that. It haven't been announced yet, I don't think, but I would guess.
I haven't seen it announced.
No, but I'm sorry to cut you off, Tony. I did hear Craig Stammen last night say he was negative for a concussion, but they were going to talk to him and see what's going on today.
Yeah. So
Campusano's in the lineup tonight, as most people would expect. But
yeah, so I would just say that I was standing around the cage. He was in one of the last groups, and I was listening to Steven Souza just really talk to him about what a good job he did in the game the night before, and sticking with, because he looked bad the first couple of at bats in yesterday's game, or day before yesterday's game, before he got a nice knock it through that left side, and they lost that game. But to me, it was an example of the different voices he has around him this year that have empowered him to go out and be his best version of himself. And he is rewarding the team in the role that he has been given. Remember, this is a backup catching role he's been given. But he's going to get an opportunity here with Fermin. I don't know how many games he's going to sit out. Tonight he will. He's been getting opportunity, and as you said, Chris, he's taking that opportunity and running with it. He's doing the things that I think they saw him being able to do. And as you said, I don't know that we neither of us have root for players like this often, This is certainly one of them. He had a big night. Obviously, Ramon, he had a big night. Padres just keep coming up clutch. I think that's really just the best way to put it. Toddy comes in a pinch hit role, and once again hits the ball hard right at somebody. It's a productive out nonetheless. And you just watch them, even as they got behind in that game, and this is what I've appreciated about them, because maybe all but one or two games this year, in my opinion, they stuck with the game plan. They didn't get away from it. And last night was a great example. Even as they were behind, they kept going in. I was talking to Souza before the game, before I came up here, and he was telling me how before he could even get the information to Jack about the pitching, because remember they brought the lefty in just to face him before he can even get the scouting report.
Yeah,
Jack
right.
was like,
Jack
was like, I'm gonna lay off. I'm gonna give him in, and I'm gonna lay off down. I'm gonna get him up in the zone. And sure enough, first two pitches, sinker down and in, slider down and away. He lays off. Now he's 2-0. He was intentionally trying to go to left field, and sure enough, he got that sinker baller to get the ball up in the zone, fouled 2 bullets off the left, and then hit the chalk on the line to win it. It was a great team effort by those guys last night.
And I also want to point out, and here's now Scraby will get mad at me, because the fans and the media, we all remember every time we get unlucky and something happens that costs us a game, the ball's hit hard, this, that. Look at that rally in the 9th inning, honestly.
So much luck involved.
Right? I mean,
so much luck.
Sheets barely made contact, and it
tapped
rolled
that
down
ball.
the third base line.
He tapped it. That ball probably was cut in half.
Yeah. Ty France hit a chopper to the mound, but he had to go back off the back of the mound, so he couldn't find it. Laureano's was a jam shot. Right.
That ball might have hit him in his belt if he didn't actually make contact.
Yeah. And then, to end it, Merrill could have gone either way, fair or foul. So, the next time we're bemoaning the fact that we never get a break, they did get a few of them there, but they took advantage of them, right? Did. So that's the thing.
You said I was going to be annoyed by this, but I'm not. I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
I agree with you.
Well, I thought you were going to say I'm being negative, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to point out what we saw.
No, I think it's great to put a...
You need luck.
Yes.
You need 100% need luck.
And it's great for me to have a game to reference, like when I'm like, man, the Padres never get lucky. And then Chris says, remember that game when they came back down 4 runs against the Mariners? I need that.
Yeah.
Tony, you're getting a question on the chat. Have you ever robbed a home run before?
Not in the big leagues, unfortunately.
Okay.
But you did do it. Yeah.
I did it in Albuquerque. Probably one of the tougher spots to do it with that damn slope they got up in center field.
Tony's like climbing a hill.
Climbing a hill and trying to climb a wall at the same time.
That was a beauty.
Jackson I told you guys this, man. We don't talk enough about the young man's defense. Year 3 playing center field. He's leading, I think, the league he might be second behind Joe Adell in homers robbed. He's got 3 already this season.
Joe Adell had 3 in one game, but yeah.
He obviously had 3 in one game. But I just think the amount of progress he's made from a defensive standpoint is really outstanding. I mean, you watch the guy just kind of get by on athleticism. His first year, he didn't really know all the nuances. And each year that he's been out there, he's gathered a little more information on nuance. His first step is elite now. His routes are getting better, are just more crisp. And he's got great timing. I mean, it's one thing to get to the wall, make the jump. But how many times does a ball hit somebody's glove and still go over, or they can't quite hang on to it on a diving catch? Like, those are finishing attributes that not everybody has. Like, and Jackson does. And man, he had an all-around performance last night. I don't know, there's no question about it. Just think, I mean, that's 2 runs off the board right there.
Yeah,
2 runs off the board and possibly keeping Julio Rodriguez from like getting going. Like he didn't get to. It's like a shooter that sees the ball go through the net. It's like, okay, he gets it going. He didn't go down as a hit. He had to make the left turn because he's a visitor back to the dugout. You know what I'm saying? So,
and he was beside himself in the dugout.
He
for
went
about
for some
5
teammate
minutes.
Consoling.
Yeah, he did. He put his head on his teammate's back. Like,
yeah,
dang. But hey, least Jackson didn't pretend like he didn't catch it like he did to Toddy a couple years ago.
Well, he couldn't do it because he had to get the ball back in.
That's
the
true,
other thing that Jackson, he's so aware that he knew he didn't have a moment to celebrate that because he had to get the ball back in because he got a guy tagging up. I mean, the guy has the natural instincts. We know that. He has the athleticism. But you pointed out, Tony, you played in the outfield, and he was a shortstop. Let's not forget,
right?
He has had to work. And I don't go to practice. Tony, you see some of this stuff. I guarantee you he's out there practicing robbing fly balls, practicing his routes, practicing his first step. And, this is the result of a ton of sweat that I think we're getting to see right now.
I got to be honest. and this is what makes some of what he's doing remarkable. I've never seen him out there practicing robbing homers.
Oh, really?
I see him out there getting jumps. I see him out there live BP working all the time. But I don't know if I've ever seen him working on that specifically. But you wouldn't know that by the way. I mean, that particular part of the wall, if you look at it, is not a straight kind of cross. It kind of dips further back, which probably played in his favor because it got him a little bit closer. Had it been kind of a wall straight going across, he might have not have the depth to get to it. But man, just field awareness, all of it, man. It was. That's how you teach it, right there.
I do remember maybe last year he was saying that he studied Michael Harris and how he was robbing home runs so that he could emulate some of that. So he's watching other guys.
Definitely a good guy to watch for sure.
Yeah, him, Julio Rodriguez, that would be great.
Well, that's why Jesse referenced it in the call. And by the way, Jesse's calls there were awesome.
Yes, they were
really good. And Tony Gwynn Jr. somehow again laying out. I don't know how you're doing it, Tony. I don't know.
Shedding up?
Yeah.
That's pretty easy.
Well, it's not easy when that's
not,
happening.
Yeah.
When that's happening, I'd be like, get around the remote. Come on, baby.
Tony's waving his arm in the radio.
I was waving my arm.
You were waving. Okay. A lot of third base coaches there in the bottom of the ninth inning. But the last thing, I just wanted to say about, defensively and what they're doing out there is, it's just they're winning games by doing the little things right. They're taking runs off the board often, and they're taking advantage of everything that's being given to them. I think they've scored 1,200 runs this year, which is almost like twice as many as any other team. So you better not make a mistake because they're going to stick it to you right now.
Indeed. All right, we're off to a nice start here. Long segment there the first time around. Let's get to break. On the other side, more Padre news, possible sale. Maybe. We'll talk about it on the other side. More Gwynn and Chris.
Clear your
right, Gwynn and Chris indeed underway. Pretty happy Thursday after that win last night, but back to business again this evening. Game gets started an hour earlier tonight. I think that's a TV thing. Also, maybe the Mariners can get out of town a little earlier. Padres will be heading to Anaheim to start their weekend series against the red-hot Mike Trout and the Halos. I think Trout homered again today. And the Angels win against the Yankees. So
good. I talked trash about Mike Trout last week.
Deal with Trout this weekend.
We won't have to deal with Soler, thankfully, though. Well, at least for 2 games.
Soler will have a little suspension going. I know another thing you're going to have to deal with is the guy who has the best stats of any pitcher in baseball right now, Jose Soriano. Tomorrow night, 4-0 with a 0.33.
Y'all remember when he pitched against us last year?
No.
Throwing that turbo sinker into the ground?
The turbo sinker.
I do remember
We were just beating it into the ground all game long.
Oh, man.
Well, that's tomorrow night. Tonight, let's see if we can't finish off a 7-0 homestand. Tony and Jesse have the call at 5:40. And we're going to be down there, I think, many of us anyway, because tonight is going to be the winner of our biggest fan contest will be celebrating in the Odyssey Suite tonight. So I'm not saying that to, poke at the people who all tried to win that prize and didn't. Right? I mean, everybody's like, thanks, Chris. We're glad you're telling us about the fact that we didn't win.
It was a long shot to begin with.
But it was a bit of a long shot. But just so you know, somebody did win. And tonight, they're going to be enjoying their night in the Odyssey Suite. So many of us are going to come down for the game. So looking forward to being down at Petco a little bit later on. We got to talk about the sale of the Padres because it's still in the back of everybody's mind. You touched on it, Tony, going to break. But Dennis Lin is saying that maybe it is Dennis Lin with The Athletic is saying that maybe the sale is closer than we think, potentially. Scrabe, are you giving me updates on this?
Yes, I am going to give you some updates, but it's according to Dennis Lin, approaching its conclusion with an agreement between the Seidler family and a preferred bidder expected as soon as early next week.
Wow.
So we may be, this time next week, we may know who the new owner of the Padres is. All of the people that we've talked about over the last few months are in it. Jose Feliciano, Dan Friedkin, Tom Gores, Joe Lacob. And they're expected to be sold for around $3.5 billion, which is...
Did you say 3.5 billion?
Billion.
Come on.
Which is 1.1 roughly billion dollars more than what the number one market in the country, New York Mets, sold for. They're going to make $1 billion more.
Yeah. Well, welcome to it. And just a quick reminder that they're going to make that because owners don't have any money. They can't pay the players anything. And only they have 3.5.
Let me read you the excerpt out of Barry Bloom's article.
All right.
With Times of San Diego.
Okay.
The four parties trying to buy the Padres submitted a second round of bids on Tuesday and all approached the $3.5 billion mark. A source close to the negotiations told Times of San Diego. But the eventual Padres sale price, already expected to be the largest in Major League Baseball history, could still go higher. That is because the Seidler family could still push for a third round of bids from the interesting buyers, the source said, though that has not yet been determined.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
That sounds almost like price gouging at this point. But,
when billions of dollars are on the line, and someone's willing to give me an extra bill, I'm willing to listen.
Listen, if you got it to 3.5 at this point, and we're just
right.
Speculating.
Right yeah, right. We're going by the reports. We're going by the reports.
If it is indeed up to that much, why wouldn't you say, hey, you know what? Let's see if you guys got some ties here. You can come back. Hey, you guys kind of tied.
Yeah.
Let's we'll put it in for one more week of bids. See.
Hey, Tom Gores put 3.8. You want to give me 3.9, Freakin'?
I'm just saying.
I will say this. Who's going to bid 3.8 and then go, nah, another 100,000, I'm out.
Well,
I can't
do it. It's 100 million in this case.
Yeah, I was about to say if you another 100 million.
Like, once you're up to 3.8 billion, might as well
we're talking
put
about
another decimal in there and go to
massive
work.
Numbers here.
Of course, because it ain't our money. You do whatever you need to do at that point.
Incredible. All right, we'll take a timeout. We're going to get away from baseball, but not for long. Evan Weston, MLS on Apple TV. It's our regular Thursday feature, talking about our struggling, all of a sudden, San Diego FC Soccer Club. Maybe Evan will give us a little update on the UEFA Champions Cup semifinals as well. We'll talk some soccer for all you soccer folks out there, but the Padres, a ton of that still ahead on Gwynn and Chris.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not used to complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not used to complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Remember, it's starting early. It's going to run down, do a little pregame, hear from the manager, etc. But he'll be back for our Big Five, which is about an hour away. We're going to talk with Evan Weston of MLS on Apple TV. SDFC fans. I don't know. I just wonder. Like, the team has been so successful last year. There's hardly been any hiccups at all. Except now there's been a little bit of a hiccup.
Yeah.
Right? They're 3-2-2. There's nothing wrong with that record, except for they opened the season, I think, 3-0-1. Right? So I think they've had 2 draws and 2 losses. And in the middle of that, they had that 4-0 loss in the Champions Cup to Toluca. So, it's been a bit of a downer go for these guys. And I'm just curious, how the SDFC fans are handling it. We're so used to winning and just kind of throwing the team out there.
This is when the adversity shows you what kind of fan you really are.
Let's see what they can do, yeah. Let's see. They had a draw with Dallas, the loss to Toluca, a draw with Salt Lake, and then losses to San Jose and Minnesota. So the last 5 times out, and they haven't won any of those. So that's,
it's
amounts
definitely
to
not
a bit of a slump.
Yeah, definitely not something we're used
for
to.
them. You look at the standings right now, the table, as it were, Scrabe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're in 8th place. I don't think they've ever been in 8th place before, right? They just started right out.
What's 8th place?
I know. They started out on top last year, and they stayed there. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that. More on the Padres as well. I thought this was a great stat that you have in our sheet here, Scraby, just to prove that I once in a while look at the sheet.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but I looked today. Fernando Tatis's sacrifice fly last night was hit at 101.9 miles per hour. Of the last 19 balls that he has hit, 15 have had over 100 miles per hour. And he has 28 balls this year in play that he's hit over 100 or 100 or more. And that is more than any other player in the major leagues.
Doesn't surprise me.
But what should surprise you, and I think is a bit surprising to me and everyone else, is he's hitting like 230, despite hitting the ball harder than anybody.
That is true.
You talk about hitting them where they ain't.
Oh, he's up to 242 now.
All right, 242. But yeah, he's not hitting them where they ain't. Poor Fernando's hitting them where they are. And, you figure that's going to change around.
His average exit velocity right now is 95.3 miles an hour. They classify on the StatCast page.
Right.
Any hit over 95 is considered a quote unquote hard hit. So he's averaging a hard hit every time he goes to the plate.
Yeah.
Puts the ball in play.
But ultimately he's had 66 at bats plus 8 walks. So he's been up 74 times, maybe 75 with the sac fly last night, and has only 4 extra base hits to show for it. That is a little surprising when you consider some of the analytic numbers surrounding it. But I think what's happening with Fernando, what's happening with Manny's hitting $185. That is not Manny. I know it's early, but that's still low for him. Even 2 home runs, I think, is a little low. 2 doubles. Jay Cronenworth, is he going to just hit 140 all year?
I really hope not.
Right. So the point being, the Padres are doing what they're doing with at least 3 guys in their everyday lineup performing well below their normal capabilities. Well below. And now you factor in the fact that, your starting staff is a little bit in tatters until you get Musgrove back in here. And we're not going to see Pivetta until, Yeah, I'm. Nobody knows exactly, but we know it's going to be July after July. The All-Star game is July 15th, 16th. He's not pitching before then.
I know. On the way home last night,
this.
I came to terms with
just come to terms with it. Yeah, we won't see him till August if we see him at all. But Musgrove hopefully can get healthy here. Griffin Canning is getting healthy. Matt Waldron, I'm kind of fired up to see him pitch tomorrow in Anaheim. I think Waldron has a chance to be really contributing. So, there's a lot of things that aren't perfect right now, yet, they're winning 7 in a row. I'll tell you one thing that also isn't perfect, though, Scraby. During the 7-game win streak, it feels like they've lost ground on the Dodgers. Now, I know they haven't, too. But the stupid Dodgers every night.
It's crazy.
Still 2 games behind those guys. So, all right, we're going to talk a little soccer here. Evan Weston, MLS on Apple TV, is our guest. And we got SDFC, and we're coming up on the World Cup break here in a little bit as well. Evan, how are you? Welcome to the show today, sir. Always good to talk some football with you guys.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I was just mentioning it before you came on, and maybe you can put it in better perspective than I can, but what's happened here to SDFC? And I don't know if I'm overreacting to 5 straight matches without a win, including that Champions Cup loss, but 3 losses, 2 draws. They've lost each of the last 2. And frankly, we, probably didn't appreciate it enough, but we haven't seen this yet in the history of the franchise, right? Where they've had a bit of a slide like this. So how should we best couch it as fans? And what about the team? Is it a bit of misfortune, or are they not playing well? What's going on?
Well, listen, it was inevitable, right? That eventually they would stop winning every, 3 out of 4 games or
right.
Whatever it was. But fortunately, you have a glaringly obvious thing to explain it that probably won't happen again, and it's that they keep taking red cards. They have taken 6 red cards in their last 6 games, including 1 in each of the last 4. And if you keep going down to 10 players, it's going to be very difficult to win.
Yes.
This is something that Mikey Veras has said it's a combination of things. Some of the calls maybe have been a little bit harsh, but when you give the referee an opportunity, they're going to take it. And so what teams have done to San Diego is they've decided to basically throw caution to the wind and almost play man defense on San Diego, because they realize if you just sit back and let San Diego knock the ball around and do their thing, they're going to hurt you. They're too good. So you kind of have to take a risk. And what's happened is San Diego's kind of played into their hands, and you end up in a position where your defender is one-on-one and needs to make a play. And sometimes that play is allow a goal or sacrifice yourself. So at a certain point, they're going to have to adjust to this. However, even if they did nothing, are they going to take a red card in every single game?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I think it's unlikely that this continues to such a ridiculous extent. But that said, this is a very difficult game coming up on Saturday. Maybe the toughest MLS game they have played yet this year. It's not the game you want to go into as your get-right game. They're going to have to keep all 11 guys on the field if they have a chance in this one.
Yeah, San Diego taking on Real Salt Lake coming up on Saturday, 6:30, and you can watch it on Apple TV. Is it possible, Evan, the teams around the league are going to look at what's happened with the red card and even begin to try to bait them into some more red cards? It doesn't seem like a bad strategy, honestly, if I'm thinking about it off the top of my head, because like you said, you get a team down to 10 players. That's going to be hard for them to beat you.
Yeah, it's something that they're going to have to be aware of, right? That teams are going to, recognize that this is something that has been an issue for them. It's been interesting to watch, frankly, over the last 2 months as the season has started. Red cards are way up around the league. Cincinnati has taken 4 in a row as well, but no one has had a problem across all competitions quite like San Diego. And when it happened against Toluca, they went down to 9 and they won against arguably the best team in North America. It was such an incredible result. But again, that's so hard to replicate. And so it is going to be a thing where they have to be very cognizant of not only not crossing the line, but not even giving the referee a chance to make that decision. Sometimes you do have to just kind of put it in your pocket and be a little bit more conservative in those moments while still sticking to their identity. And Mikey Veras has said that, if you don't play our style, that's unacceptable. It's non-negotiable that they're going to play their style of dominating the ball and playing their way. And so to thread those needles is the challenge in front of this team. That said, you'd rather be them than a team that is on the same sort of run with 11 guys, which is where some teams are at. This is a pretty obvious problem that they can identify and correct.
Talking to Evan Weston on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking, it's better. I'm going to ask the obligatory Chucky Lozano question because I feel like this is dragged out a little bit further than a lot of us thought, because we all learned months ago that the team decided to move on from him, but they're still dealing with all of that. Do you feel like that's kind of something maybe hanging over this team, or is that much ado about nothing in that regard?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where you have a situation where it makes sense for everybody on all sides to just kind of wait this out. Now, what would be the hinge point? Either Chucky decides that he has to play, money be darned, or San Diego decides they need his roster spot. As of right now, neither one has happened. San Diego is seemingly pretty content with their roster. And by the way, even if they wanted to use this roster spot, they're not allowed to until July. The transfer window is closed. And Chucky seems to be absolutely, I'm sure he's not fine with it. I've never spoken to him. I have no idea how he feels about the situation, so I don't want to speak for him. But he's making quite a bit of money to stay home. So at this point, it does seem like both parties are kind of, if not content, at least at a stalemate. And it is what it is. And for San Diego, if the results don't come, could it get to the point where they need to take a little bit of action because they need to bring in an impact player in that roster slot? Yes. But I think that's a conversation we'll probably have to have at some point over the summer, either during or after the World Cup. It's a unique situation. It's not unprecedented in soccer. In fact, it's more likely, you see this happen in American sports where guys get big contracts into their 30s and then, it doesn't work out and they end up not playing the last few years of it. I hate to do this, but the Padres have a couple of those deals on the books.
Yeah, right.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Sure.
That may end up in that situation. So this is not exactly the same because I think Chucky would still have something to offer to somebody. But I give San Diego some credit to sticking to their guns as well. They made a decision. And they have, sometimes you'll hear the teams talk big, and then after the transfer window closes, they're like, all right, let's reintegrate the player. We saw that with Toronto a couple of years ago with Lorenzo Insigne. That has not happened. They've made a decision. The great strength of this organization is how aligned they are top to bottom in what they're doing. They believe that he is not a fit for what they want to do, and they've stuck to their guns, and I give them credit for that. So we'll see how it all resolves. I have to think it's going to come to a head over the summer one way or the other. But at the moment, I think it's not – I certainly wouldn't pin San Diego's struggles on that at all. I think it's very much – they just need to keep all 11 players on the field and allow their superior talent and system to speak for itself.
Yeah. You mentioned the game against Toluca when they went down 2 men and still won the game. And it was almost like, wow, we can even win with one arm tied behind our back. And – they're learning. You can't keep doing this. Evan Weston is with us from MLS. It's a little too early, I think, to start looking ahead. The World Cup, the season's going to take a break at the end of May, right? Not come back for 2 months, basically, till July. So do teams do a little bit of a push? Is there a first and second half type of feel this year to the league? And then remind everybody that from next year on, the timing of the MLS is going to be completely different than what it is now, right?
Yeah, the shift is coming. So we're really excited about this. So yes, there absolutely is a first and second half.
Yeah.
This year, the post-World Cup part of the season is actually going to be a little bit longer I believe it's about, it's not true of every single team, but it's about 15 games before and 19 games after. For some, it's 14 and 20. It's around there. So it's a little bit more in the second half. And remember, you can make additions in the summer. In the past, it's been a lot less of the season has been in that post-summer window. So your trade deadline style acquisition period, so to speak, you're going to get a lot more impact out of that this year. So that's one thing that's going to be exciting. But then into next year, we're actually going to shift our calendar to align with all of the major European leagues that play from the end of the summer all the way into the spring. We're actually going to start a little bit before most of the European leagues so that we can get some of our games out of those northern markets. I would expect a lot of December and February home games for San Diego because there is going to be a difficulty in playing in markets like Minnesota and Toronto and Montreal. To name a few, in those months. Not impossible, but there's going to be fewer of those games. But you look at it when you start in July, it'll go through December. There'll be a winter break. With, I imagine some sort of competition will be played in January, but we don't have any details on that yet. Then around the Super Bowl, either right before or right after, we'll come back and we'll have a sprint run into the playoffs, which should end sometime in May. And I think it's a better way to get us aligned with Europe so that when you're going into the off season, you have the same off season as all the big leagues in the world. So you're in play, not just for, the occasional star that wants to come over in the summer, but the regular meaty transaction of this good player who would be a great fit for our team, but they're in the middle of their season and they won't move him. That's no longer going to be an obstacle. And I also think getting the playoffs away from the NFL and away from college football is a huge deal, especially college football. We have a lot of crossover with college football on Saturdays, and it's the same sort of community-based, local fan base, that we attract to MLS is also attracted to college football. I think getting that away from those ritualistic American fall sports is going to give us a nice boost and a lot more visibility.
Sorry if everybody just heard me bouncing around like I'm a bull in a china shop over here. We're talking to Evan Weston.
I didn't hear you. I was listening to Evan.
Okay. SDCC, I felt bad. SDCCU fan hotline. It's not Big Bank Banking. It's better. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here a little bit, but there's been some trends in baseball the last few years that we've been watching, like they put their big hitters at the leadoff spot. Are there any trends that you're identifying in MLS or any new trends that you're seeing that we can learn about?
Yeah, it's interesting. MLS has avoided some trends that have come to the other big leagues and has adopted some others. So it's interesting, and we kind of be looking at it as like, well, what is happening in the Japanese league in baseball versus what's happening in MLB, right?
Yeah.
So in Europe, especially in England, the ball is not in play nearly as much right now, especially in England. The emphasis has been on corner kicks and long throw-ins and trying to just put the ball in the box with as many giant people as possible and create chaos, which is analytically smart. Arsenal is in first place. They are the team that is leading the charge on this. It makes for terribly unpleasant viewing. And thankfully, MLS has largely avoided this. And the team that is doing, is zagging the most out of any team in the entire league, maybe in the entire world, is San Diego FC. They want the ball a ridiculous amount of the time. Yeah. They are fine with attacking on set pieces, but their game is not built around it. They want to create with the ball and play really beautiful soccer. And I think it's terrific that MLS has largely, there are a couple of teams, but largely not really been in on that trend. The Premier League has really, really been a tough viewing experience this year. And I always tell people, if you want to see the ball in play, go see your local MLS team or dial up Apple TV. Don't bother with the Premier League. You can sleep in anyway. So
yeah, right. The matches are in the middle of the night anyway. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's especially after you guys out on the West Coast, the early game is at 4:30 a.m.
That's what I said. Yeah, middle of the night.
So it's absolutely been good to see that. We've seen more man marking in MLS. This is something San Diego has had to deal with, which is an interesting trend that's evolved. You see a lot more three at the back There's a little bit more stability. Coaches believe in balance in that situation. But I really think the story is that the league has not gone all the way in on hyper set play, corner kick focused soccer the way that England has. And I think that's to its benefit.
Evan Weston, play-by-play MLS on Apple TV. I have less than 30 seconds, but give me a winner in the UEFA Champions League Cup. I know they're in the semifinals. They don't start for a little bit, but I like to follow it. I know a lot of our fans do. PSG is going to try to repeat. Atletico Madrid and Arsenal have never won the Champions League. They're on the other side of the draw. Who do you like here?
It's funny because Arsenal and Atletico Madrid are probably the two most famous, we don't want the ball, let's muck it up side. That semifinal could be really rough. And on the other side, Bayern PSG should be incredible. I think whoever wins that is going to win. I couldn't tell you. I think it's a coin flip between those two. It should be amazing 2 games.
All right. We'll look forward to that. We'll also look forward to you guys on Apple TV this weekend, SDFC and Real Salt Lake. Thank you so much, Evan, for the time. Always appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You betcha. There we go. Our soccer update and good stuff from Evan Weston. MLS on Apple TV, and it'll be Saturday, 6:30. The Salt Lake visit.
There was one thing I couldn't remember about Evan. I couldn't remember if he was the guy who said meatwad, and so I was gonna.
I don't think he was, but I couldn't remember the word.
I was gonna ask him how the meatwad of the SCFC was doing, but I didn't want to go out.
I don't think we do a lot of meatwadding. I think what he's saying is that Arsenal and the teams in the Premier League do a lot of the meatwad.
Yeah.
We play more of a flowing type of game.
I gotta find out who that was that said meatwad.
I like that one though. All right, hour number 2. Remember, it's a short show today because the Padres play an hour earlier. So if you're like sitting at work right now going, yeah, I'll be at the game tonight. Oh, what? It starts at 5:40?
Better get going. Keep us on in the car.
Yep. Did Tony say pickles, or did you
My hand hit the mouse.
hit the pickles button?
Pickles.
Pickles. You know what? The pickles thing never fails to deliver. Doesn't even matter if it's hit at the wrong time.
He's so happy when he says it.
He loves his pickles. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I think a good pickle on a sandwich is it gives it a big boost.
Hey, SD Fat Loss pickles are free snacks.
Free, right? SD Fat Loss. That
and
doesn't
when we
even
say
count
free, we
against
mean
you.
it. Yeah, it doesn't count.
You can eat
against
as
the
many
program.
pickles as you want. You could just go pickle crazy.
Yes.
Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, where we know how. It's Chris, it's Scraby, Tony down at the ballpark, joining us here in a little bit for our Big Five. Remember, we're out of here at 4:30 today, a little early, because the Padre game is an hour earlier tonight with the matchup, Luis Castillo for the M's and Walker Buehler for, again, remember we said this yesterday, the M's kind of sounds okay for Mariners. O's sounds okay, I think, for Orioles. Obviously, A's for Athletics. We've always heard that one. You never hear them called the New York Y's.
No.
Or the San Diego P's.
Well, that's
right?
Self-explanatory.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying, though? It just makes no sense to do that.
I'm glad that we haven't turned that way.
Yeah. Walker Buehler, 6 shutties, I think, last time out against the Rocks. And we'll see what he can do tonight. I think he's getting a little better, a little more comfortable in his own skin every time out. Remember, Walker Buehler is still kind of in the midst, I think, of reinventing himself as a pitcher. And so I think he learns things every time out.
I find it amazing. It's like golfers. When they change their swing, they hit thousands of golf balls.
And 900 of them don't feel right.
No, but they still hit it straight.
But they it still goes straight.
Changing the way he's throwing the ball while he's pitching in a regular season. That's difficult.
Yeah. Scraby put these numbers up here, which are a little confusing to my limited statistical knowledge, but the Padres BABIP is up 60 points.
Batting average on balls in play
during this run of 10 wins in the last 11 games. Hard hit ball percentage is up to 48% of the time, which is second best in Major League Baseball. Their average on hard hit balls is 492. So when they're hitting it, it's landing in play, except for Fernando. And then their overall team batting average, 265. First 7 games of the year is 190. So quite a bit better. I mean, Laureano to me is the guy. I know that, last night Jackson did it, but Laureano keeps doing it. He almost hit 2 home runs last night. And I think in any time of the year, those are both home runs, except for, the dead of April. He's really been something. I did not expect when they acquired him that they were getting somebody this good.
I didn't either.
We'll talk about it a little bit more in the Big Five with Tony, too, because I think Laureano, either that or AJ knew something that we didn't. But Ramon Laureano, look at his previous career stuff. He wasn't this good.
He was a good player, but he wasn't this player.
Wasn't this good. All right, let's do the lineup real quick tonight. Scrappy, before we get to the Daily Gambit, I'll let you fill everybody in on the
lineup,
on the piece of paper. What'll be on the piece of paper tonight that Craig Stammen hands to the home plate ump?
Okay, well you gotta love this because he is good on his lineups. He is always putting out his lineups.
Gets them out early.
Ramon Laureano batting first in left field. Fernando Tatis Jr. right field batting second. Jackson Merrill center field batting third. Manny Machado cleaning up at third base. Xander Bogaerts shortstop 5th spot. Sheets first base 6th. Andujar DH 7th. Campusano catching 8th. Cronenworth second base 9th.
Yeah, remember that we haven't heard anything official, but I would think Freddie Fermin is going to go on some sort of concussion watch list. I know they said he didn't have a concussion.
Yeah.
But Tony said there's a second catcher that is there now. So you may see Fermin put on something like a 7-day concussion thing. That's not official. But keep an eye for that. Campusano is going to probably get the chance to play every day here for the next week or so.
And crazy to say, I'm good with it.
Well, Campusano deserves more playing time. We talked about this on the roundtable this morning. Should he be getting the bulk of the time? And I don't know that he should. He's doing better. But always be careful when you take a part-time guy and make him full-time. It's a different animal. So I want Campusano to kind of ease into more playing time, as opposed to just, going right into it like he will now. So we'll see how it goes for him. But I mean, I've been so happy to see Campusano doing what he's doing. The other guy that we should mention before we go to the Daily Gambit, because we've talked about almost everybody else today, is the guy who hit the 2-run home run that started the comeback last night. Xander Bogaerts is looking more like the Red Sox Xander Bogaerts this month than he probably ever has as a Padre. Is that fair?
No.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
It
yes,
is fair.
It is fair. Sorry.
Yeah, 7, 9, 10, 15 hits in his last 9 games, right? He's got 3 home runs in that stretch. He's got 10 ribbies, stolen a couple bases. I mean, this is, what I kind of thought we'd see. It's Xander Bogaerts being just dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
This is as dangerous of a stretch as I've seen from him in a long time, maybe the whole time he's been a Padre.
It's you're rivaling that right now because it has not been like this. We haven't seen him hit for power like he's been hitting. By the way, Chris, our guy AJ Casville tweeted, Fermin is available tonight.
Okay.
Continues to pass concussion testing.
All right. Well,
Duran is there, but only as a taxi squad
emergency
in case
deal.
something happens.
By the way, Mark Grant brought this up last night on the telecast. So I'll share it in case you didn't hear. But once Campusano came into the game, of course, Fermin was out, right? In the first inning. But what would have happened if Campusano got hurt? Does anybody know?
Jesse and Tony were talking about on the radio.
What'd they
Jake
say?
Cronenworth
Was
is
their guess?
apparently the emergency catcher, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so they guessed Jake Cronenworth. Mark Grant said he looked into it.
Okay.
And said that the emergency guy with the tools of ignorance would be one Ty France.
Oh, I have heard this before.
So
that makes more sense than Jake Cronenworth.
A little bit more, honestly. So we'll see where that all goes. Hopefully they won't need to get there. But that's good to hear that Fermin could actually play tonight. Tells me maybe he won't have to go on that 7-day concussion list. The other quick news today, Sun Myung Song was officially, you have to do these kinds of technical deals. He was officially activated from the IL.
Yes.
And then officially sent to El Paso.
Yes.
So
he's not coming to the big league team?
Not yet. How long is that $15 million salary going to sit in El Paso before we come and find out what he can do?
You know what? I don't care.
You don't care.
As long as they're winning.
You don't care.
As long as they're winning, he can make $15 million. $15 million goes a long way on El Paso, I'm pretty sure.
He should be buying dinner for those kids every night down there.
Every single night.
All right, let's see what we got in the Daily Gambit. There was some fun stuff last night. How did it turn out?
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. We felt like you needed that information, so we're just going to review the bets in this segment, and then we'll make some bets in the next segment. Chris and I are broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios where we know how. Last night, Mariners, -1.5 against the Padres. Both of us went Padres. Both of us were correct because the Padres won 7-6.
What is going on? That's 2 games in a row that the Mariners have come in here as favorites.
Yes.
I don't get that.
I don't get it either. It keeps failing them.
Yeah.
Over under 8 total runs in the game. We both went under. There were 13. It was 8 there for a second.
It looked like it was going to finish under, but it went over at the end. Yes, it did.
Dylan Cease over under 7.5 strikeouts. Both of us went over. He had a good night last night. 6 innings, only 2 hits, but he only struck out 6, so we lose that one. Who had fewer hits plus walks plus earned runs? Randy Vasquez or I don't even know Hancock's first name. I forgot.
Herbie.
No, it's not.
It's not Herbie.
You chose Hancock. I chose Vasquez. Vasquez had gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, and walked 4 for a total of 13. Hancock, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 1 run. Or no, 2 runs and 1 walk. So Hancock wins this one.
I said Vasquez yesterday had a feel was going to walk 4.
Oh, yeah. Everybody
And
blamed you
that's
last night
they
on
blamed
the
me for
Scravy
it?
Show Discord.
Yeah.
And I
he's been
saw all of it. I was going to defend you, but then I stepped back.
I don't think he was doing poorly last night. It was just one of those nights where it wasn't quite as sharp. And that just can happen.
It can.
You know, so you stick with it. You come right back the next time. That's okay.
Ohtani over under 6 innings pitched last night. We both went over. This is a push. He went 6 innings.
Exactly. Struck out 10.
Yeah, struck out 10. Only gave up like 2
He did
hits.
give up his first run in like 35 innings, though.
Yeah, it did end. Yeah, that was a big streak.
Yeah.
Sixers minus 1.5 against the Magic. You went Sixers. I went Magic. Sixers win this one 109-97. Clippers minus 5.5 against the Warriors. And after all of our thinking that they weren't going to play Steph Curry, he played like 35 minutes or something like that.
He also hit 7 threes.
Yeah.
And he also led them from 13 down in the fourth quarter. And the Warriors won straight up, and Draymond Green turned the game around by like stealing the ball from Kawhi Leonard 3 times in a row.
Every once in a while, that guy does some incredible things.
He really can still do it when he, just has a moment. The Warriors, it was a little Magic recapturing. We'll see if they can do it one more time.
The last
in the next
bet
round
that we made was who had more points, Kawhi or Steph. Kawhi was minus 3. We both went with Kawhi Leonard. He had 21. Steph at 35.
Steph was so Steph last night. 7 threes, falling down, shooting the ball, landing in the third row of the stands as the ball goes in. Oh, yeah.
Just throwing it over his head.
He can still do some things, but Draymond Green, that guy, I mean, you'd love to hate him. I know he's hateable, but I appreciate some of the little dirty work stuff he does, and I know the Warriors fans appreciate it too. All right, well, when we come back, we'll have tonight's picks. We also have our Big Five in this hour. More Gwynn and Chris ahead after some traffic. That would be our San Diego Padres, 12-6. 2 games back of the Dodgers. Dodgers are idle today, so we could pick up a little ground. Time for our picks tonight in the Daily Gambit. I had a good day yesterday, so I'm 14-10, Scrabe 12-12. And for the third day in a row, Scraby, the Mariners are favored over the Padres.
What are we
I don't know who's doing
about?
They must be doing these DraftKings odds in Olympia, Washington or something.
Like
I don't
the Mariners
get it.
dugout.
I don't know. Maybe you favored them when Brian Wu was starting. I don't see favoriting them. I don't see the favoriting them last night with Hancock
and
Castillo. I don't see with Castillo and Buehler. Anyway, I'll take the Padres for a sweep. I mean, come on. You're almost handing it to me.
Yeah, that's
I get a run and a half.
That's too easy.
All right. 8.5
Although
runs.
I was saying last night, man, I'm running a half. And
yeah, they weren't going to win it last night until the late going. That's that other thing that they do with the percentage you have a chance to win.
I hate that.
I bet you after Fernando's sacrifice fly, the odds of the Padres winning was like 0.03%.
I can tell you.
And then after 3 batters after that, it was 100%. It changes on every play.
It does change. Yeah.
So that's, I mean, they put that up in the NFL games too. Like in the third quarter, the Packers are beating the Bears 17-10, and it was win percentage, Packers 61%. What exactly does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. Nothing. That's what it means.
Everything.
But if the next play is a pick 6 going the other way, that 61% is going to change drastically.
You really have a problem with people.
I just don't see I think it's a useless statistic. I know that a lot of statistics I like, and I'm kind of a stat guy, but I think certain analytics like that are dumb. What is the point? You don't get anything for having a 61% chance to win in the third quarter.
Finally found it.
What was their percent last night? After Fernando's flyout gave 2 outs in the 9th.
The Mariners are still supposed to win by 96.9%.
That's all?
They were supposed to win.
Yes, I know. I said that's all. I would have said 99. Padres were still down 3 runs at that time.
After Campusano single to center, 91.7.
After Laureano,
83.6. And then
after
next
Merrill,
one,
0.
It switched to 100% Padres.
Okay, I say. But the Mariners' chances of winning went from 86 to 0 on one swing of the bat. 8.5 runs tonight, Scrabe. What do you got?
I'm going to have to go over.
It's gone over the first 2 games. This is still Petco. This is still April. So I'm going to stick with under, even though it's cost me. Castillo -1 strikeout against Walker Buehler. I got to have faith in Buehler. I think he's finding it slowly but surely. I'll take Buehler plus the 1 strikeout.
This Padres team, I could be wrong, but they don't seem like they strike out a whole lot.
All right. I can look that up, but not right now.
I'm going to go Castillo, or I'm going to go Buehler.
Buehler as well. Total bases, even up. Who do you got? 2 struggling superstars. Cal Raleigh versus Manny Machado. More total bases tonight. I know we're supposed to pick Manny because we're here, but Manny's the walks he's getting, he's not getting a whole lot else. I hate to tell you.
The dumpers
in the dumps as well. Yeah, the dumper's been
bad.
Doing what he does, which is something I don't want to mention.
If Manny has more total bases, that means they win, so I'm going Manny.
Yeah, I got to go with Manny just because, we're here. I do like the dumper. Well, I like his nickname.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think the whole thing with the Rosarena, karma's against him. We got Ducks 1.5 over Nashville tonight. And we have Kings 1.5 over Calgary. I put them both in there together. If the Kings win tonight and the Ducks lose, which is possible, it's the final game of the season. But if that happens, the Kings will go into the playoffs against Edmonton for the 5th year in a row in the first round.
That's a rivalry right there.
I don't think that's ever happened in one of these best of 7 type sports where you get the same opponent 5 years in a row. By the way, Kings have lost all previous 4 to Edmonton.
If that doesn't get you out of the bed in the morning as a Kings player, I don't know what will.
But first they have to win. If it doesn't work out, the Kings will actually play Colorado, which is a much tougher matchup on paper. So anyway, I put these on there. I'm taking the Kings minus 1.5, and I'm taking Nashville to beat the Ducks so that the Kings Edmonton can come about again.
I'm just going to go Kings and Ducks.
Kings and Ducks for you.
Yeah.
So that would actually put the Ducks against Edmonton. All right, we'll see how it goes. Final night in the NHL. By the way, NBA last night, we mentioned the Warriors did win in the thriller over the Clippers. They had up a 13-point deficit. Now they have to beat Phoenix in the next game. The Warriors do, and the winner will go to the playoffs. Philly moves on. I didn't realize Joel Embiid wasn't even playing last night when I picked them.
No, I mean, he never seems to play.
That's true. I should have just
almost a
expected
Zion, okay?
He's close. For a guy that's won an MVP award, he misses a lot of games.
He misses a ton of games.
Yeah. And so the East thing tomorrow will be Charlotte and Orlando. They did find Ball $35,000 for pulling out the leg of Adebayo.
That's about right, I think.
All right. All right. We got the Big Five. Tony's coming back. It's a good, jam-packed
It is
Big
a
Five.
locked and loaded Big Five.
It's coming up.
From the first pitch.
All right, Big Five is heading your way here shortly. Crisello, Matt Scraby, Odyssey Palace Studios. Brought to you by the fine folks at Bill Howe, where we know how. Tony Gwynn Jr. is at Petco Park, which, by the way, is allowed to be called Petco Park, but it wouldn't be if it was hosting the World Cup soccer. They'd have to call it like Stadium in the Gas Lamp Stadium.
It would be San Diego Stadium.
Right. You'll find out why we're saying that when we get into the Big Five here.
I've never seen anyone ever do that.
Yeah, what's happening with the World Cup right now is stuff we haven't seen. The question is how much of it are we going to be willing to, take? So we'll talk about that and other things after traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Sue Aller.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Jammed on the 15th South at Balboa Avenue with a collision, and watch out for a crash eastbound on 78 at Sycamore Avenue. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? We always bottle our Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all our bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from our own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Sue Alder with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
And if you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla, or for dining or takeout options.
What do you now?
Spiros.com. Let me visit spiroscuisine.com.
What are you now? One of our traffic people? You don't know how to pronounce any of the city names?
Oh, no. Do you know what they're calling the traffic guy in the morning?
No.
Because his name's Andre. They're calling him Andre I because they think he's AI.
They don't even think he's a real person.
But I guess this morning he shot back at the people and he said, "Did I pronounce that right?" or something like that.
Good for the AI.
Yeah,
yes.
well,
give our traffic people a little bit of time to
familiarize themselves with the county.
Thank goodness we have not heard La Jolla yet. We have not heard La Jolla, but you know you're in trouble when you got someone saying La Jolla
or Jamishaw Road.
It's another great one. Jamacha,
or Jamaica, sure.
Ramon Laureano is hitting .292 on the season with a .921 OPS, and I did the calculation. He's now pacing for 38 home runs on the season. On the other hand, this 7-game win streak on the Padres only allowed them to gain 3 wins in their total over/under projection. So 2 questions here, Tony. Does Ramon Laureano hit over/under 25 home runs, and do the Padres go over/under on the win total of 86?
Oh, they're going over 86.
Yeah,
for sure. I said that from the beginning.
Yes.
Laureano more than 25.
It wouldn't have hurt if the 2 that he hit last night had gone over the fence, but stupid Petco Park makes it so tough in April. I mean, the second one he hit, he put his head down for a second and went into his home run trot. He was so sure that was out.
Yeah.
But off the wall.
I'm gonna say push.
Right at 25.
25. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I didn't
25.
make it a 0.5 or anything like that. Next time I will make it a 0.5, so you have to make a decision. But
advantage,
fair.
Push.
Chris, over under 25 home runs for Ramon Laureano, over under 86 Padres wins.
I think he's going to go over 25. He's just hitting the ball well. He's putting a good swing on everything, and I think once it warms up, all these balls will sail out for him. I think he could push 30. Padres look, certainly it's hard to say right now. Yeah, they're going to be under 86. I mean, they're beating everybody in every fashion. So it certainly looks that they're going to go over. I still wonder about Ramon Laureano. Maybe we should talk about it another time. We have more time, but I don't recall him being this good of a player anywhere else. I mean, I thought he was an okay player for the A's and the Orioles. Did AJ Preller see something, Tony, or did the Padres get a little lucky? I don't think he was this, good.
Effective.
Yeah. So
I think Oriano was just young, and he,
okay.
All players do. It takes some time to get seasoned and find their footing.
And he's really good now.
He found it, I think, the beginning of last year is when he really started taking off.
A little bit, yeah.
He was healthy again for the first time.
That's also
beginning of
true.
last year in a little bit.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a fan of the A's, and he's very upset that we're getting this Laureano.
Yes,
I'm like, okay, that was years ago. Get over it.
That was baby Razor Ramon. That's not OG.
That was middle Ramon. This is top Ramon.
This is top Ramon.
That's
I like
right.
it.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Astros rookie pitcher Tatsuya Imai is on the IL with arm fatigue, struggling to adjust to Major League Baseball. He said he cited issues with the colder weather and a harder mound upon starting in Seattle. Also, he does not like the way the ball fits. It's a little bit more slippery than what Japan uses. Through his interpreter, Imai noted differences like travel and meal timing. In Japan, dinner's at the hotel, but in Major League Baseball, it's at the stadium. So he's not making excuse, or he's not saying he's making excuses. Despite the IL stint, he did go say he's looking towards improvement and getting used to the American lifestyle. Some Astros fans are saying these are excuses. Chris, are these excuses?
Yeah, they're totally excuses, every single one of them. But maybe they're a little bit understandable. I just think as a pitcher, some guys give them the ball, put them on a slab of rubber, and point them towards home plate, and they can get the job done under any conditions. But I think there are definitely some pitchers that have to have everything just right, and it has to feel right, and it has to look right, and it has to, they have to do the exact same warm-up routine in the same places. So I do, although I, kind of favor the first style of pitcher that just give me the ball and I'll get it done, there are guys like this. So I think it's maybe a little bit more normal than we think. But, yeah, these are excuses, and he'd probably be better off just working them out instead of complaining about them.
He wasn't, to be fair, it's one of those things where he was asked how things are going from transitioning from Japan to America.
All he has to do is say, I'm making the transition. It's some days it's better than others. Period.
I love your black and white world on this thing.
All right.
Tony, are these excuses?
Technically they are, but they're not. I think this can be a thing that happens for the pitchers that come from Japan. I mean, no one really is exempt. They're coming from pitching once a week, basically. Different baseball, different travel.
Yeah, no one realizes that the travel is so much different.
It's so quick. You don't have long trips when you're playing.
Almost all of the teams in the Japanese league are within the limits of Tokyo, and pretty close to the city of Tokyo.
Right.
Yeah,
and so I think in our culture here in America, yes, we would look at those as excuses, but considering where he's come from, and quite frankly, the teams expect this. This is an interpretation of it was being written from questions asked. The team probably fully expected to have some type of slowdown at some point as he gets acclimated. They all do. I mean, Padres were the same way when they got position players. So I just think that this should be expected. He's had some success, a little bit of success when he's been out there, but fatigue and pitching as often as he is something that it's going to take him time to. I recall when Unicorn was first got here.
Mason Miller, Unicorn.
No, not Mason Miller.
Oh, Shohei.
Oh, yeah.
Mason Miller's kind of a unicorn.
No,
I get what you're saying.
He's not a unicorn at all. He's a closer that throws really hard. Unicorn is a guy who hits the ball 100,000 miles and pitches at 100 miles per hour. Anyway,
I don't know that Shohei is 100, but whatever.
It's pretty good that he can do it with a horn sticking out of his forehead too. I think
how
it's
did he get his
impressive.
hat on?
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
Insane. Yeah.
But I do recall the Angels really kind of piecemealing it his first year. We kind of forget that now because We see what the finished product of it, but it took a year for him to kind of get acclimated to, and then he took off from that point on. So I don't think this is a real excuse for Ime.
Yeah, he also said, like, in Japan, they used to do their bullpens the day before they started, which I guess never happens here, but he still is doing that because it makes him comfortable.
It's the second off day, I believe, is your bullpen day.
Not for Mr. Tatsuya Imai.
Yeah, so that's a day later.
Yeah.
Buyer beware when you get these guys. Honestly, all of them. I mean, even Sunmun Song. I
the
think
buyers are aware. It's just us that are.
We're not.
having.
Yeah, I think when we got Sunmun Song, I think with paying him $15 million guaranteed, I think everybody thought he'd be slotting right into the lineup. It's not even on the big league roster.
I know that I said a million times he's going to be on this roster because they paid him money, and he's not on this.
They paid him money.
They paid him money, and now I look like an idiot.
Number 3.
What's new?
Right. Good
Lakers.
One, you're starting to learn how it works around here.
Now, I want to ask you guys before we get into this one. I stole this from Tony's text this morning. The article said this: Lakers guard Luka Doncic.
He's guard.
Is he a guard or a forward?
Yes,
he's a guard.
This is how you know. Hey, Chris, this is how you know this dude doesn't watch basketball.
No, do not. I know that he handles the ball a ton.
A guard,
but he's also like 6'10".
So was Magic Johnson. He was a guard.
All right, fine. You guys schooled me. All right. Luka Doncic played 64 games. Pistons' Cade Cunningham played 63 games. But they are eligible for the end of the season awards after the NBA and NBA PA agreed to bypass the 65-game minimum using the extraordinary circumstances clause. Doncic, which is insane.
It is insane. I would like to see a printout of that clause, honestly.
It's time to enact the extraordinary circumstances clause.
Bring out the unicorn. He's got the clause.
That is kind of funny. I didn't stop there and giggle before, but now it's kind of funny. Doncic missed games due to the birth of his child abroad, and Cunningham missed games after suffering a collapsed lung, everybody.
Yeah, it didn't feel too good.
Tony, are you cool with making the extraordinary circumstance clause decision?
The ECC?
Yeah. The ECC.
Invoking the ECC?
Listen, I'm glad they got this right. This is what should have happened for those particular guys in these circumstances. I think it's funny that they had to make up this clause.
Yeah,
and if they actually had this clause prepared, hats off to you, because that's extraordinary.
I want to ask Charles Barkley what he thinks of the ECC and let him roll for about 15 minutes.
He's going to say, "Shut the hell up."
Yeah,
which is what he said the other day.
I think ultimately, for these two guys in those circumstances, and I think we talked about it earlier when we didn't know that they were going to have the ECC.
I love it.
This is what should happen. These dudes are certainly award worthy, and the only reason why they miss are to those crazy circumstances that popped up. So I'm okay with it.
Chris, you okay with this?
Yeah, I agree with Tony, but I do want to add one thing. I was thinking about this today. Why should it really even be in there? I get that they're trying to get these guys to not load manage, etc. But if the people who watch the NBA feel like Luka Doncic is an all NBA player playing 23 games, then he should be an all NBA player. I don't know why you need, right? I mean, if you want to hold that against him, you say, hey, he only played 23 games. I'm not voting him in. He only played 63 games. I'm not voting him in. Why does there even have to be a number for this? I don't really get it.
There were obviously some lazy writers that were gifting these 40-game players awards, and
without really looking at it. Okay.
Well, I'm always going to say they weren't looking at them, but they certainly were given an award despite them playing half a season.
I mean, if Michael Jordan played a half a season, he probably still would have made all NBA before they had any of these rules. Just because he was Michael Jordan,
he was
Larry Bird, or they're going to put him on the team.
Maybe that's the problem. Like maybe you shouldn't be getting it just based off of name recognition alone. Like you should have to earn your way to it. Now, whether it's 60, 65, I don't know, but I do think part of getting that award is playing the season. And so like if you have load managed your way to half of a season, you shouldn't be allowed to get it. Now, if you got hurt and had a collapsed lung and missed 15 or 16 games because of it, and that was the only games you missed, I can understand it. And I don't necessarily think they needed this rule, but I'm glad they got this right because ultimately those two guys specifically deserve to have a chance at those.
Technically, I could only see Cade Cunningham getting the ECC in his favor because he actually had an injury. Technically, Luka missed games because it was personal reasons.
That's not what the
it's
the
not
ECC
injury
is about.
only.
No, it doesn't say anything about that.
All right, then I withdraw my comment and we move on.
I just can't wait for them to overturn the score of an NBA Finals game this year because of the double secret probation ECC that they haven't pulled out yet.
They're just like waiting.
That awards a victory somehow. This is really kind of comical, and the NBA's kind of set itself up for this.
Yeah. World Cup
was a fantasy.
What's that?
That was a fantasy.
What was? Sorry.
This double entendre.
No, he was saying he was saying that they're gonna like change the rules at the end of the NBA Finals with like a crazy.
And I'm saying that's a fantasy.
That's a fantasy. Okay, here's one that's not a fantasy. We're gonna put the Bulls in the playoffs because we need a big market team in there. It's in the book. Go find it.
The book. In the
Go
bylaws.
find it somewhere.
All right. Number 2. This World Cup thing is, if it's not bankrupting people, they're taking out loans or something because it's getting expensive. World Cup fans in the U.S., especially in New York, where travel and parking for MetLife Stadium will be expensive, they're not letting you use the MetLife parking lot for this. No one is allowed to use the MetLife parking lot. You're not allowed to tailgate. So what you have to do is you have to go take mass transit, ride shares, chartered buses, or parking at the nearby American Dream Mall, which is going to charge $225 a game to park. And the New Jersey Transit is reportedly considering $100 round-trip train tickets from Penn Station to MetLife. You're not even allowed to call it MetLife. It's the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Can you guys tell I'm annoyed with this whole World Cup thing?
MetLife? What's going to happen if you call
Me?
it MetLife?
Nothing, but broadcasters, something.
Yeah, the same thing that happens to Jim Nance if he says fans instead of patrons. Yank him right out of the booth.
Chris, think about, we're not going to be talking about this event. Think about something you really, really want to go to.
Okay.
Would you pay these prices if it was something you really, really wanted to go to?
Well, it's funny you should ask because there is an event coming
The
up
Olympics?
in the United States in a couple of years that I really, really would like to go to.
So $225 parking or $100 round trip train ticket.
Well, it's absurd, and they're totally, price gouging. And I wish there was something that could be done about it. FIFA evidently just rules the earth, and they come in and
crazy.
I mean, the fact that they can get them to change the name of MetLife Stadium and have to cover it up.
Yeah,
they have to actually cover the sign so they can call it New Jersey, New York Stadium. And try to. I'm not sure why. Anyway, the whole thing is driving me crazy enough to the point where I hope, and I'm sorry to you soccer fans for saying this, I hope the United States never hosts this thing again. Let other people have it who want to give in to the demands of FIFA. To me, it's not worth it. I don't know too many soccer, even hardcore soccer fans who want to pay these kinds of prices. The same way I am not paying $1,000 for 2 tickets to go sit and watch 3 hours of track and field at the Summer Olympics. I want to be there, but we have to have a limit somewhere, and I just can't give in to all this.
All right, Tony, if it was something you really wanted to go to, would you pay these crazy prices?
If I really wanted to go to?
Yeah, I don't really know what Tony would really want to go
Lamar,
to.
front row, now he's thinking about it. Yeah, so there's some few
World
things.
Series game, I don't know.
Well, World Series game, I think he can get to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, listen, I think if it's out of your price range, you can't go. This is a pretty simple thing. I know we all have desire. I want to go sit courtside at the Lakers. Never done it before.
There you go. There's one that we'd like all to do.
It's out of my price range. So, I may not ever get to do that. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a big soccer fan too. My man Dave Marcus, big soccer fan. He's in line for tickets. Been in line for tickets. He got tickets. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. You don't have to buy into FIFA's eye gouging price.
Well, it is eye
Well,
gouging. It's
yeah,
slightly eye
it
gouging.
this feels like an eye gouge.
When I
though,
saw
too.
the price, my eyes were gouged.
But when you're talking about a ride from Penn Station to the New York Stadium is normally $12. So you have to say that that's an eye gouge if they're calling for $100 for you to do something that you are used to being able to do for $12. You want to raise the price a few bucks? I get it.
What
From
if it's
12 to
75?
100?
75?
No, it should be 12.
No, it's not. Just,
Not gonna be 12.
I don't disagree that they can raise the price for special events, but to raise it by that much, I don't even know how many percentage that is.
The argument isn't that it's not a lot of money. The argument is that you don't have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Tony, but I mean, if they eventually raise gas prices, let's say to $23 a gallon, you could say that we don't have to drive. I mean, there's certain
that's
things
what they are saying, Chris.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean? There's certain things that I think that we should have an opportunity to do. I think we should be able to buy a steak once in a while. If they're going to charge $300 for a cut of meat, that's going to price most of us out. You could say, well, you just don't have to have a steak. I don't know. I think it's really sad.
Give me some meat.
I do. I think it's sad. And I know your point, Tony, and your point is taken.
It's valid.
And the bottom line is there are people who are going to pay the price. That's why they can do it. So in the end, I lose this argument.
The stadium is going to be filled up.
Yeah, I know.
And those what's the transportation spot called?
The American Dream Mall for $225 per game.
That will be filled up.
It
And
will.
what's the other transportation that you $12?
New Jersey Transit.
The transit, that'll also be filled up. So like I'm not one of those people that's going to fill it up, and I can't afford to fill that up.
Yeah. No, you're
But
right.
It's a little monopolistic, though. You're not giving these people ways to get to the stadium without
welcome
paying
to
a ton.
America, my friend. Welcome to America.
I've been in America, but
it sounds like you're new to it.
Sounds like you've never been to the air. See, I mean, now I'm going against my own argument. Sounds like you've never even been to the airport where they make you get rid of your water before you go through and then charge you $19 for a bottle of water once you get in.
They tell you before you go through.
They're telling you that you're going to pay $100 to go
you
both
can't
ways.
bring water in, but it's available once you get in. And we're gonna charge an absurd amount for it.
Real quick, I hear both of your points. It's no doubt this is price gouging at its highest. And you know what? It seems like more and more companies are willing to play this game now. And so I don't know, we got to either wait it out or take a stand. No one show up.
Yeah.
Or, but these cats don't even care because these corporate people will buy up those tickets and do whatever
give
they
them out
will
to
with
people. I mean, look, I'm the biggest, I railed against the NFL putting an NFL playoff game on Peacock. I went crazy. We had to extend the show one day. I was so mad. But as soon as that price went up for the Miami, Kansas City football, I signed up probably before the ink was dry.
Yeah.
So, this is what we do.
All right, quickly. This was not a good moment for San Diego last night, but there was a fight.
Yo, I heard about this when I walked into the building.
Not happy either.
Jeffrey, who was the security guard down at the Padres clubhouse.
Yeah, I don't want to show the video.
He was like, "Did you hear about last night?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
I said it was a great game. He said, "No, the vests were causing fights."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
Yes.
Yeah, you people out there should be ashamed.
They literally were. They were causing fights over free giveaway.
Like, how
puffer
did
vests.
Don't show it.
Here's how it went down. There was just a ton of people trying to get their vests. And one guy turned around and was like, "Hey, back off." And this other guy was like, "No, I'm not going to back off." And then they got into like a small little scuffle, and this guy got into the middle of it, and people were like, "There's kids around." It was kind of a hectic scene.
We ain't even had the Dodger series yet.
No, but I would like to take this one moment for PSA because I saw someone sent me an eBay listing for a puffer vest that was $150. Also saw a puffer vest for $75 on eBay. Please, no one buy these things off the internet. They are free.
We were just talking about FIFA. It be your own people sometimes, right? It ain't even the corporate.
No.
It's regular old Tommy trying to get over with the $175 puffer vest now.
Tommy's the one trying to take a whole box of puffer vests and sell them for $150. No one buy these, please. I'm being serious.
All you have to do, and
the question. Go ahead. Let's just talk about it.
We don't need a question. All you have to do,
because we're about to be done.
Yeah, if you want to see the worst in human behavior, give out something for free and don't have an organized way to do it.
Facts.
You will just see the worst in human behavior, and it was on display last night. This is not Padre fans. It's everybody. You put something out there for free. Leave something that's really worth it out in the middle of nowhere and watch 100 people kill each other to try and get that one item.
Tony. He's not joking.
I don't know. Bad out there.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but
this wasn't a horrible.
No, it
brawl,
wasn't. There was no
it
punches thrown, but it got a little weird, and there was people, two old guys going at it.
It's embarrassing enough that we
should blame Mud because he's been modeling that thing for like 2 weeks. People really wanted one,
and that's not a joke because I saw him in the cafeteria the other day. He's wearing the puffer vest in the cafeteria. He's not joking.
He was wearing that puffer vest like it was Louis Vuitton.
I'll be honest with you guys. Don't wear one wear one out to your car tonight after the game, Tony.
No,
they might rip it off your body and leave you, bleeding in the gutter somewhere. Hey, I got my puffer vest. And it was worn by Tony Gwynn. It's worth even more.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is a Tony Gwynn Jr. worn puffer vest.
Oh, it's $175.
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather pay $100 for the puffer vest or for the transportation to go to the World Cup?
Well, I'm going to pay the puffer vest because I can't afford all the other stuff.
I mean, I'd rather pay the transportation to the World Cup because I am not giving in to these people that sell free things. I hate it. It's free. Anyway, we're going to have Christmas and fans when we get back. 833-288-0973.
If we can compose ourselves.
Yes.
Padres Mariners today.
And a hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Pre-game.
4:04, final half hour here on an earlier show today. Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan, San Diego's #1 sports talk station. That's us, 97.3 The Fan. We're broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. We're going to do some Chris versus the Fans here. In the final segment today, I'm going to retell something that happened today during our roundtable.
How was that?
It was great, as always. And if you haven't heard it, we're not going to be replaying it, so you'll have to go back and listen to it. But I recommend you do it, especially if you're a Padre fan.
It's on our YouTube and 97.3thefansd.com.
Correct. Bob Scanlon was our guest analyst today. And he was
I'm
great.
off the hook, Chris, because should we tell the story of the at spring training when Bob came over to say hi to us, and I blurted out, "Well, I hear you're going to be a part of the roundtable this year," and he goes, "What?"
Yeah, we hadn't asked him yet when you blurted that out.
And so I'm off the hook now that he's done it.
You're off the hook now. But Bob Scanlon and I came together in one of the strangest It's a Small World department things I've ever come across. And I think anyway, I think you'll get a kick out of that. That's coming up in the second segment. What happened before we get to the, we're going to do trivia now. So I'll ask everybody out there trivia. What happened September 13th through September 22nd of 2023? Scrape? Anything?
A Padres win streak.
Yeah, very good. Last time the Padres won 8 in a row.
I remember this because they couldn't get past a certain number of wins.
Well, a 7 has been the high water mark each of the last 2 years. They will be looking to get to 8 tonight when they take on the Mariners. By the way, the last 8-game win streak they had in September 2023, they started that streak in 4th place, 20 games back, and they finished that streak in 4th place, 19 games back. So it didn't do them a whole lot of good. This streak hopefully going to do them a little more good. If they can get to 8, we'll find out. 5:40 is the first pitch tonight. All right. Chris versus the Fans, our popular little game show here. Chance for you to qualify to win this month's grand prize, a pair of field-level seats to see the Padres take on the Phillies. It'll be on Memorial Day, but you got to play and you got to win.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Chris, I also just read that someone was on the trolley at Old Town and they stopped and there was like a kid selling the puffer vests, and then they saw how many they had. These kids had hundreds of puffer vests selling them at Old Town. That means they stole them, right?
Well,
I don't think they can just walk away with a box of puffer
I don't
vests.
know, though, Scrape. I walk out of the stadium after a giveaway and people are all asking or giving you $5 for something. They might be able to buy 100 of those for $5 a piece.
That's crazy.
I mean, enough people are leaving the stadium. They're holding it. They don't really want to carry it anymore, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways it's enterprising, but when it gets to, people pushing and shoving and trying to beat each other up so they can get a free puffer vest, and that's really is a turnoff to hear those kinds of stories.
I know it is enterprising, but it's not, because the item is free originally.
I know.
All right.
I know.
I don't know why this bothers me so much, but
it does. Yeah.
You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win if you're a first-time player. Nice one. Let us know before you get into it, and you'll get that question for free today. All right, let's go to our first contestant. The first name I saw was Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hello, everybody.
How are you today?
Hello,
sir?
everybody.
I am doing fantastic. First time player.
First time player.
Well done, Rob.
All right, here we go. I love it when people give us the player voice.
Yeah, he's good.
All right, here we go.
Let's just give him
I tried.
You did a great job.
Let's just give him the victory and move on.
All right, that's fine with
It's
me.
over. You win, Rob. Stay right there. We'll get your name.
All right, question number 2. I've made these second questions a little bit easier. People were complaining. What NFL team won 3 Super Bowls in the 1990s?
1990s.
1990. Damn it. It's great. You're killing me. Cowboys. Son of a bitch. Broncos.
Ooh, I think he may have said it.
What, he said Broncos?
Yeah, well.
But he said it before.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Jerry's boys, 92, 3, and 5. Jerry's Cowboys.
I'm sorry, Rob, but we appreciate you playing.
Rob. Glad you played. Now that you've...
Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I know, but I want to remind him that now that he's, got his feet wet to come back again.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to our next contestant.
All right.
We'll go to our guy Gilberto.
By the way, the Broncos that decade won 2, so he wasn't completely out of line there.
Gilberto, are you going to rub it in our face?
I don't want to talk to Gilberto.
I know.
Come on, man. The Dodgers are 14-4. He's going to be on a high.
Yeah,
here.
He's going to be too excited.
Hi, Gilberto. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien.
Hola,
¿Y tú?
muchachos, ¿cómo están? Muy bien. No,
you know what? ¿Cómo se dice? I hate the Dodgers winning all the time, Gilberto. Is there a way to say I can say that?
En Spanish se dice, yo amo a los Dodgers que siempre ganan.
There you go. There you go.
Would
Que
you
siempre ganan.
Could you record that so we can play that every day from now on?
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, Gilberto.
What's up,
It's exactly
Gilberto?
the opposite, I gotta tell you, okay?
You what?
What's he got?
Okay.
Yo amo a los Dodgers means I love the Dodgers, okay?
Yes, we know you do.
Oh,
but
I didn't hear that part.
But he's a fair Padre guy, too, and that's why we'll put up with Gilberto.
Well, I gotta tell you, I went to the game Tuesday night with my daughter.
Okay.
It was a great pitching duel. Great game. The Padres won. And last night, I called her. We talked when the Padres were down 6-0, and I told her, they're down 6-0. So it was good that we won last night. And she goes, do you think they can come back? And I go, anybody can do it. They have a good team. And then Jackson Merrill did what he did, and she calls me and goes,
see?
They're good.
I love that.
Good sports teams bring everybody together, even dastardly Dodger fans.
All right, Gilberto, here we go.
Give him a question already.
All right, question number 1.
Yeah.
What Angels player just hit 5 home runs in 4 games at Yankee Stadium this week?
Miguel Trucha.
Miguel, I love it.
Trucha? Was that Spanish for trout?
I guess so.
I guess it was. Yes. Okay.
All right. Question number 2.
By the way,
Gilberto.
Aaron Judge hit 4 in that series, so it's
That was
quite
pretty fun series.
Quite a fun series.
And I'm so happy that Mike Trout and the Angels are playing the Padres tomorrow. So.
Well, they're getting warmed up.
All right, Gilberto. What National League player leads baseball in stolen bases?
Stolen bases. Wow. Well, I gotta.
This is for the title?
No.
This is number 2.
Yeah,
I
number
don't
2.
know, but I go with Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz. Man, you had the last. Oh, shoot.
Well, I was going to say Jacob Marcy because I saw it yesterday,
Okay,
so
you're
he
gonna
must have been passed today then.
You're going to be truthful then.
Yeah, I am. Jacob Marcy was leading this morning, so I don't know when the question is as of right now.
Have the Pirates played today?
Yes, they have.
Okay,
so that's
well,
what
O'Neal
happened.
Cruz stole a base.
Okay, so he's the leader.
All right, we
that
move
keeps
on.
Gilberto alive
We
for the
move
title.
on.
That's okay.
All right, here we go.
Bank
Question.
Can I ask Gilberto a question?
Sure.
That I know the answer to this, but if he gets it, he wins.
Okay.
How's that?
All right.
Because he's a Dodger fan.
Okay.
Right, Gilberto? You're the best LA
Yes.
Dodger fan we know. Are you there? Ready? What player? All right, here we go, Gilberto. For the title today, it's a little different little angle to the game. What players hit the most home runs in the history of the Los Angeles Dodgers? Does not include Brooklyn days.
Well, I know who it is, okay?
You do?
So he's going to break that record. It's Eric Karros.
Gilberto, man, that puts a smile on my face. You got it.
All right.
Good job, Gilberto.
Stay there.
That's a legit Dodger fan there, right? Not everybody knows that one.
Didn't they just play? Didn't they just play Karros' son?
Yeah, he's playing for the
Rockies?
Rockies and making his way into the big leagues. The all-time Dodger franchise leader is Duke Snider, but he was a Brooklyn guy. Gil Hodges was second, but Eric Karros, of all the people that have ever played for the L.A. Dodgers, Karros is the record holder, and Gilberto, well done.
You would have given me 1,000 guesses. I would have never.
You wouldn't have got that. Max Muncy is closing in a little. That's why I think Gilberto was mentioning it. Muncy needs about 40 more, though, so it's going to take a year or two.
I mean, when Shohei is all said and done, he's going to have like 500.
You think Shohei is going to blow them all away?
He's going to have so many home runs.
I think everybody would have guessed Mike Piazza. That would be the first one that would come to my mind. But remember, he left and went to the Mets. So anyway, Gilberto, stay on the line. Let's get traffic. Going to share a crazy small world department story that Scanlon and I discovered earlier today when we return. Park tonight. Our biggest fan will be celebrating their evening in the Odyssey Suite with the Spiros catering the event. Sorry, I don't mean to rub it in to those of you who can't make it. But I will tell you that Spiros is, you can have it there. It's at the ballpark. They got a Spiros. So maybe we all just have Spiros tonight and watch an 8th consecutive Padre victory.
I'm in.
By the way, we talked about Xander and how good he's been going.
Yeah.
Last 9 games, he's hitting .429 with a .500 on base, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs.
Very nice.
Xander, this is the best stretch I've seen since he came to San Diego.
And for the longest time, we didn't think he could hit home runs at Petco. And now he's hitting home runs at Petco.
He's done a little of that. I agree, Scrape.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so our big epic Padre Roundtable this morning brought to you by Epic Wings.
How was the food today? Because I saw the spread when I got in.
Yeah, it's always good. I'm sorry you weren't there for it. It's
okay.
Good, and I eat all of it. But no, it's great. Epic Wings has been great, and we're having a lot of fun. And I know that I think everybody likes the Roundtable because I get asked about it more than probably any other segment of the show on the station. So I think a lot of you like it or listen to it anyway. If you missed it though, Scanlon was our guest host today. And along the way, about midway through the show, I think it was Braden asked him really just how important is having a catcher who you trust, who you like, who you get along with, that kind of thing.
Good question.
Yeah, it is. And of course, Bob Scanlon was in the major league, so it's a pretty good guy to ask the question too. And he said, predictably, it's a big deal. You want to have a cat, and because the question came up is how comfortable are the Padres starters with Luis Campusano back there? And I think the answer coming back is they're getting more and more comfortable. Campusano's really not only just doing it hitting, he's been much better defensively, seems much more in tune with everything. He's also the best challenger of ABS I've seen in the major leagues this year. So Campusano's doing a lot of things right.
AAA experience last year.
Maybe so, yeah. He goes, yeah, it's a big deal. It's important. So I thought I'd jump in and say something kind of half joke, half truth. So I went back and I said, this is a different level. I said, but when I was in high school pitching, we had a guy named Ron Barnes. And I said, this guy couldn't hit his way out of a paper bag, but he was a great catcher.
Poor Ron.
I know, poor Ron Barnes. And I said, he was a great catcher. And I said, I really loved pitching to this guy. And I had a lot of success. And then my joke was, I think if we would have signed Johnny Bench, I still would have asked our coach to use Ron Barnes because that's how comfortable I felt with him.
Wow.
So I was kind of making a point and being kind of silly at the same time. And all the while giving a little plug to the unknown world of Ron Barnes, a name I had not mentioned said the words Ron Barnes in 40 years. Right, 40 years, hadn't mentioned his name. Scanlon's sitting right next to me, and it slowly starts dawning on him. And he turns and he goes, you went to Beverly Hills High, didn't you? And I go, yeah. And I said, you went to wherever he went, Harvard Westlake. I thought he was like poking.
Wesleyan?
No, Harvard Westlake. Okay. I think that's where he went. So I think Scanlon was like Beverly Hills. I'm like, well, yeah, you went to Harvard Westlake. And he's like, no. I knew a guy when I was in high school named Ron Barnes who had been a catcher at Beverly Hills High. That was only the beginning of how crazy this was.
So he met him?
He knew Ron Barnes, but not only did he meet and know Ron Barnes, Scanlon said straight up that Ron Barnes taught him so much about pitching and so much about how getting into shape that Bob Scanlon said he credits Ron Barnes more than almost any person out there.
Wow.
On him being a major league ball player. So this really hit home to Scanlon.
Yeah.
Because Ron Barnes was like one of his hero guys.
Yeah.
And here I am throwing his name around as a two-bit catcher for me at Beverly Hills High School. And I said, this is, incredible small world. Ron Barnes, the whole thing. Anyway, the show ends. Everyone's a little bit buzzing about it still. And so I said, that's crazy that you not only knew Ron Barnes, but that he had such an impact. he said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "We've been friends the whole time." He went on. He became a multimillionaire.
Whoa!
He built all these strip malls and
he
LA.
should have been friends with Ron Barnes.
I know. I should have stayed friends with Ron Barnes. And he built, and then Ron Barnes became a minority owner of the Diamondbacks at one point. I know. I'm like, all of a sudden, this is all Ron Barnes. And then he said, and then tragic, because I started saying, we got to look Ron Barnes up. I'm so excited.
Uh-oh.
But unfortunately, it passed. He had got an aggressive form of cancer several years ago, I guess, and he passed. So we ended the segment by kind of a super sky point to Ron Barnes. And I just thought it was so small world. So I went home after the show, and I got my old senior yearbook out, Scrape, dug it up from the mothballs. And there's a team picture of the Beverly Hills High squad from that season.
I just put it up on our YouTube screen.
You're putting it up on YouTube right now. I took a picture of it because I sent it to Scanlon.
I circled you in the picture.
Okay. Oh, God. Yeah, that's pretty funny. He did. You circled me. There's a picture of me in the yearbook from Beverly High, varsity baseball, standing to my left, but the picture's right. That's Ron Barnes. Not only were we on the same team, we were standing each other next in the team photo from that year.
That is crazy.
It was just I don't know. I sent Scanlon this photo. I sent it to everybody who was on the show this morning. Scanlon said, I'm still shaking over this. Because it's just so weird to me.
And to know that Scan credits him with his major league career?
Pretty much. He wasn't making that up. He really said whatever I learned from Ron Barnes and how he drove me and taught me was, maybe we should have had Scanlon on to talk about this a little. But anyway, I mean, you think this world is a big place. Today we had some proof that it's a pretty small place.
Yeah,
so
I love moments.
That was so crazy.
I love small world moments like that.
That was really small world.
I mean, what honestly, can some math magician out there, and yes, I call him a magician, figure out the probability and odds on that?
Right.
Astronomical.
Crazy.
To have two people sitting next to each other that have had so much contact with Ron Barnes. That's crazy.
40 years ago.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I honestly had not even, I don't even said the words Ron Barnes in 40 years. He hadn't crossed my mind in 40 years. There was no reason for him to.
Well, maybe.
But he crossed my mind today when we were talking about catchers and, what they mean to a pitcher. That was so crazy. And
crazy.
In a lot of ways, I feel a little bit like Scanlon is confirming my thought that Ron Barnes was really a smart catcher and a good catcher, because some of his smarts and ability was what helped. He taught Scanlon.
You weren't too far off with wanting Barnes as your catcher.
I knew that. Yeah, he was a good guy. Kind of confirmed my belief in the guy.
People who watched the roundtable this morning on YouTube, by the way, you can go back and watch. If you go to 97.3 The Fan on YouTube, you'll see the Epic Wings roundtable. But Jocelyn said it was really cool to see this connection happen on YouTube live. Gonzo did comment, and you're great, Gonzo, but I wasn't going to read that one.
Oh, is he being throwing one in there?
Yeah, it's
Gonzo throwing a haymaker in the middle of
Mike
everything.
says, no. That was definitely the craziest thing I've heard on this station.
It was pretty crazy, I got to tell you. So anyway, you never can tell what's going to happen. All right, we got Padre baseball coming up next. I have a minute and a half, so I saved this story for
and
last.
We got to do our pick.
Oh, never mind. I'll save this for tomorrow.
We have till 34:40. We got 3 minutes.
Now I need the time.
You need 3 minutes?
All right, because I think this is a bigger discussion. I'll throw it out there. We'll pick it up tomorrow. AZ Fudd was interviewed in Dallas today for the first time, the number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
Somebody asked her, hey, Paige Becker said you guys were a couple. Is that still true? And how do you plan on handling
living situation?
Just the fact that there's a relationship and you're on the same team. So
I'm not the crazy person here.
Well,
people are asking questions.
All right, so somebody asked it. And the Dallas Wings people said, respectfully, we're not going to address any of that.
Fair.
And so she didn't answer it. So my question, and this is why I think it'd take longer than a minute, but what do you think that there was a fair question? Do you think it was fair that they don't deal with it? I do think it's a fair question. I don't think it's prying too much. If there was a couple somehow together as a coach or a teammate or something, it would be asked. It's just, I don't think it's prying. I don't think it's being too, too
if their relationship
by asking about their relationship. They told us they had it.
So
now
it's
they're
public.
Together as a team.
Okay.
So how, it's interesting to people, I think. How are you going to negotiate that?
I think it is. I
think it was a fair question. I do. And so
I understand why the Dallas Wings said they don't want to answer it.
I get
That's
it
fine,
too.
but you have to ask the question because people are going to wonder about that. And it is a thing.
I think it's a fair question. Just like the commissioner of the WNBA, Kathy Engelbert, was asked the other day after the draft, how long do you think you're going to be the commissioner? No, but she said, you wouldn't ask me that if I were a guy. And
it's kind of true.
It isn't true.
Well, who else has been asked? Like, no one's asking Adam Silver.
I think they asked Roger Goodell and Adam Silver and Manfred how long they plan on hanging around all the time. It's a normal question for a commissioner.
When
are you getting the hell out of there?
My thought more so was because she had so many issues with players, and so that's why I thought, not because she's a woman.
I don't think it was. I think those questions are fair. All right. Picks to hit tonight. Both Scraby and I on a 2-game win streak.
Woo-hoo!
We've both had a guy get a hit in 2 straight games. We got to do it for a third tonight. Scrabe, you're first.
I am going to go with, you know what? Manuel Machado's going to start
overdue.
Tonight.
He's overdue. I last night went Laureano. He came through big in the near the end. I'm going to go with Randy Arozarena.
All right.
He always kills the ball at Petco Park. Remember back in the COVID season, he went nuts here in the playoffs.
Loves Petco Park.
He seems to. All right, we'll see about it tomorrow. More Gwynn and Chris then. Enjoy the game tonight, everybody. Sam Levitt's pregame is next.